We sort of outline specific workouts. These are different components to a training schedule, something other than just doing the same thing day after day. They provide different stresses to continue to get you more and more fit over time. But even though there are multiple things, the most important thing is the one listed first, and that's the distance run. For the beginner program, this is pretty much entirely the single sort of component that you'll do, and it's basically to serve you to get running more and more comfortable with running at gradually increasing amounts of time. As mentioned, it's basically a fairly comfortable pace. If you go out with a friend, you would be able to hold a conversation. So if it's scheduled as a daily distance run and you're not that comfortable, then simply back off the pace to where it's easier to handle. And over time, that pace that you do will gradually come down, even though it feels the same. That's the nice thing about running. It may be very hard at first, but over time, just by sticking with it, it gets more and more comfortable. The second component is basically taking a portion of that distance run and just increasing the pace. We'll call that a tempo run. A specific definition, might be at a certain heart rate or correlate with a certain race pace. But pretty much it's the pace at which you would, if you're running with a friend, you would probably want to stop talking, but you could speak in brief sentences. That's kind of like the effort level. So it's not an all-out, really super elevated breathing rate, but something where you have to focus a bit. Generally, it's around 15K race pace, if you're aware of that, down to maybe as fast as 10K race pace. Long runs. You hear a lot about the importance of the long run when you're training for a marathon. It's pretty much the most important thing for marathon training. While it's not necessarily as important for a 10K race preparation, you still want to have about once a week a run that's a little longer than the average run within the week, and have it be working up to at least the 10K distance, and for the intermediate or advanced, working well beyond that as far as double the race distance. Getting used to running for, say, upwards of an hour and 15 minutes will make a 50 or 60-minute race feel easier and shorter, which is one of the goals of the long run, to really build that strength and stamina. Interval workouts, these are primarily for the more advanced programs, or maybe the intermediate programs. It's important to do some faster race pace running in the form of track workouts. You hit the track, you do a lap hard, a lap easy, or maybe 800 meter, 1200 meter repeats. Or you could take the same sort of workout and do it out on the roads and just time your efforts. It's also called a fartlek run. This is good to sort of get the legs moving faster. Faster than race pace will then make 10K race pace feel a little bit easier on race day. But it's important not to get too caught up on these. Do them really fast and find yourself really sore the next 3 days and unable to even do the scheduled easy distance run. And then the final two things that we built in, of course, are rest days, and sort of related to that, cross training, which may be a form of a rest day, something that you can get a workout in, you feel good, you might even advance your aerobic fitness, but you may save some of the pounding, the soreness that you might develop from some of the harder workouts. And we give some examples of some cross training. And the different programs have a different amount of rest day and cross training options. Generally, the more you run over time, over years, the more you may want to sort of take on add another day of the week to run, whereas you may have built up to 4 days, you might be ready for 5. So that's one of the ways that you can elevate your weekly mileage, by sort of substituting in an easy run for what was once a rest day or a cross training day.